You disgust me. Life in prison is too good for trash like you." Judge Harrison Whitmore spat the words with pure venom, then threw his head back and laughed, a cruel, triumphant laugh that filled the entire courtroom as he stared down at 17-year-old Lydia Johnson standing in handcuffs. He slammed his gavel hard. "Life without parole. Take this garbage out of my sight," he waved dismissively, like shooing away a fly. Two bailiffs exchanged grins. The prosecutor nodded approvingly. In the gallery, Gloria Anderson covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. But Lydia didn't move. Her eyes remained fixed on the judge, calm and steady. "Have you ever witnessed pure evil wearing a judge's robe? This black teenager just got life while a racist laughed in her face. But 30 seconds later, one phone call would destroy him forever. He had no idea who he just condemned. 3 weeks earlier, the city had erupted. Protesters filled the steps of City Hall, their voices rising in anger and pain. They were demanding justice for Marcus Williams, a 22-year-old black man shot 7 times during a traffic stop. Unarmed, no criminal record, dead in the street while his girlfriend screamed for help. Lydia Johnson had been there that day. At 17, she was one of the youngest in the crowd, but she stood at the front, a megaphone in her hand. Her voice was clear and strong as she read prepared statistics about police violence in their county. 63% of police shooting victims were black, even though black residents made up only 18% of the population. But that wasn't the story Judge Whitmore wanted to hear. In his courtroom, the prosecution painted a very different picture. According to them, Lydia wasn't a peaceful protester. She was a ringleader, an instigator, a dangerous radical who had incited a violent mob. The prosecutor, Gerald Stevens, stood before the jury with practiced concern on his face. "Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is not a student activist. What we have here is a criminal who weaponized a tragedy to advance her own anarchist agenda." He clicked a remote, and grainy footage appeared on the screen. Body cam video from Officer Ryan Mitchell showed chaos, people running, glass shattering, smoke in the air, and there, frozen in the frame, was Lydia on the steps with her megaphone raised. "This," Stevens said, pointing dramatically, "is the face of violence masquerading as justice." Judge Whitmore watched with his arms crossed, nodding slowly. His reputation preceded him. They called him Maximum Whitmore behind closed doors. In 8 years on the bench, he had presided over 847 juvenile cases. 771 of those defendants were black. Their average sentence was 7.2 years. The 76 white defendants averaged 1.4 years for the same crimes. Nobody talked about those numbers publicly. But Lydia knew them by heart. Officer Mitchell took the stand, his uniform crisp, his expression somber. He placed his hand on the Bible and swore to tell the truth. "Officer Mitchell," Stevens began, "can you describe what you witnessed on November 18th? Mitchell nodded. "I was assigned to crowd control at City Hall. The protest started peaceful enough, but around 3:40 in the afternoon, things changed. The defendant started shouting into her megaphone. Not statistics anymore. She was yelling, 'We need to fight back. We need to make them listen.' That's when the violence started. I saw her personally throw a brick through the window of a patrol car at 3:42. The glass shattered, and the crowd surged forward. 3 officers were injured. Stevens entered the evidence. Photos of the shattered police car window, close-ups of the brick, images of injured officers with cuts and bruises. Lydia's public defender, Thomas Reynolds, tried to object. He was overworked, underpaid, juggling 40 cases at once. "Your Honor, the defense would like to introduce evidence that contradicts." Judge Whitmore cut him off with a wave. "Counselor, if you're going to waste this court's time, I suggest you think very carefully about your next words." Reynolds sat down. This happened 12 times during the trial. 12 times Reynolds tried to speak. 12 times Whitmore shut him down. The message was clear. This defendant didn't deserve a defense. When Reynolds tried to submit Lydia's academic records, her acceptance letters to 3 prestigious universities, her essay on systemic racism that had won a national competition, Whitmore sustained the prosecution's objection without even looking at the documents. "This isn't a scholarship hearing, counselor. We're here to determine guilt for serious criminal charges. The defendant's grades are irrelevant." "But, Your Honor, they speak to her character." "I said irrelevant." Whitmore's eyes narrowed. "Are you having trouble with basic English, Mr. Reynolds? Or do I need to hold you in contempt?" Reynolds sat down again, his face flushed. The courtroom itself reinforced the power imbalance. Judge Whitmore sat elevated on his bench, literally looking down on everyone else. The gallery was segregated in practice, if not in law. White observers sat on the right side, nodding along with the prosecution, some whispering approvingly when Whitmore made his sharp comments. Black families clustered on the left, their faces masks of fear and resignation. When Lydia's turn came to testify, Whitmore barely looked at her. He examined his fingernails as she took the oath, but Lydia's voice remained steady. "Your Honor, members of the jury, I did not throw that brick. I was filming the entire protest on my phone. I have video evidence that shows—" Whitmore interrupted. "Convenient story. Where is this magical footage?" "My phone was confiscated when I was arrested, Your Honor. I've requested its return 11 times through my attorney. Each request has been denied." The judge leaned forward, his smile cold. "Let me guess. This imaginary video prove your innocence?" "It's not imaginary, Your Honor. The video exists. It shows that the brick was thrown by someone 40 feet away from me. I was wearing a blue jacket. The person who threw the brick was wearing red. And yet, Officer Mitchell, a decorated veteran with 12 years of service, swears under oath that he saw you throw it." Whitmore's voice dripped with sarcasm. "But we should believe you, a teenage activist with an obvious agenda, over a sworn officer of the law?" Lydia remained calm. "Your Honor, I'm not asking you to believe me over anyone. I'm asking you to look at the evidence. My phone is in the police evidence locker. The video is backed up to the cloud. All I need is access." "Denied." Whitmore slammed his gavel. "This court will not be manipulated by convenient tales of missing evidence." "I tried, Your Honor, 11 times. And I said denied." His face flushed red. "One more outburst and I'll add obstruction to your charges." Lydia touched the ring on her chain. "Yes, Your Honor." But something in her eyes suggested she wasn't afraid. She was waiting. The prosecution rested with a flourish. Stephen stood before the jury. "Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence is overwhelming. The defendant incited violence. She assaulted law enforcement. She shows no remorse. The state asks for the maximum sentence. These young criminals need to learn that actions have consequences." Judge Whitmore nodded throughout the closing argument. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. They came back with guilty verdicts on all charges: inciting violence, assault on a police officer, destruction of property, resisting arrest. Sentencing was scheduled for 2 weeks later. During those 2 weeks, Lydia sat in juvenile detention. She spent her time writing in a legal pad a sympathetic guard had given her. When Gloria visited, she brought small items hidden inside books and crossword puzzles. "Your brother got into the locker," Gloria whispered once. "He accessed your cloud backup. Everything is ready." Lydia nodded. "Good. Tell him to send it to the contact I gave you. It's almost time." Gloria looked terrified. "Baby, are you sure about this?" "Mama Gloria, trust me. I know what I'm doing." And she did. This trial, this judge, this entire nightmare had been exactly what Lydia expected. She had been preparing for this moment for 18 months. Every racist comment, every denied motion, every contemptuous look from Judge Whitmore was being documented. The ring on her chain wasn't just sentimental, it was her mother's wedding ring, yes. But it was also something more, something the judge would discover very soon. On the morning of sentencing, Whitmore entered the courtroom with a spring in his step. He had a golf game scheduled for that afternoon. This would be quick. Life without parole. He had no idea that in less than an hour, his entire world would collapse. The morning Lydia took the stand, the courtroom was packed. Word had spread about Maximum Whitmore's latest case. Some came to watch justice. Others came to watch a spectacle. Lydia walked to the witness box with her head high. The orange jumpsuit hung off her thin frame. The handcuffs clinked as she raised her right hand. "I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth." Judge Whitmore didn't look up. He signed documents, multitasking, as if her testimony was background noise. The disrespect was intentional. Thomas Reynolds stood. "Miss Johnson, tell the court what happened on November 18th. I organized a peaceful demonstration at City Hall to honor Marcus Williams. I obtained permits 3 weeks in advance. Everything was legal." "What was your role during the protest?" "I was a speaker. My job was to present statistical data on police violence. I had a 7-minute speech with verified numbers from public records." Judge Whitmore snorted. Lydia paused, then continued. "At 3:38, I was on the steps reading my notes. I had my phone in my left hand, filming for documentation. My right hand held my speech. I did not have a brick." "When did things turn violent?" "At 3:41, I heard glass breaking. I turned my phone toward the sound. I saw someone in a red hoodie 40 feet away throw a brick at a police car. That person ran into the crowd." "Where were you?" "On the steps, wearing a blue jacket, clearly visible in the video I was recording." Prosecutor Stevens jumped up. "Objection! The defendant references this alleged video, but no evidence exists." Whitmore perked up. "Sustained. Miss Johnson, stop mentioning it." Lydia faced him. "Your Honor,